Today's video will be I want to say bookmarked by a lot of use of the N word, and by N word I mean Nazi. See what I did there? No, seriously though. Because we're gonna watch this video about this sucker named Critical Drinker about how Captain America is a brave new disaster or how it's woke or whatever. But before we get to that, I just want to talk a lot about Captain America and why he's my favorite Marvel superhero. A lot of people that are fans of Black Panther are probably gonna be really disappointed in me, but it's like, you know, the humbleness, the kindness, the self-sacrifice, and the anti-fascist messaging written into Captain America as a hero. And it feels as though that these people, because even white Steve Rogers Captain America was a anti-fascist icon when he was first created. I believe that his first comic book was written by two Jewish men in New York City during World War II, right before America got involved in the war. And these people received threats from the quote unquote German American Bund, which were just like, you know, the original American Nazis. The point being is that, you know, I guess it's like these people are either purposefully ignorant or they lack media literacy in general, because I suppose they can't grapple with the fact that when it comes down to it, they are the people that are the bad guys in these films and in these comic books, or even in the cartoons and what have you. Because keep in mind, most of the Captain America's rogues gallery and some of the rogues of other heroes similar to Captain America, what have you, Superman, a lot of these people are Nazis or fascists or wealthy businessmen, and it's like these people, again, like I said in the video before, is that they pay attention to, like, you know, the superheroing, like, you know, the actual combat and how cool is this panel, or how cool is this movie's effects and what have you. Is this movie have a white or a black person or a gay or, you know, a woman or whatever in this movie? And instead of actually thinking about what these characters represent and who they were written to depose and what they were written to inspire. While these heroes are not necessarily, you can be anti-fascist and not a socialist, but I believe Captain America, Superman, Optimus Prime, and more were written for people, to inspire people to be the solutions to the world's problems and not be the problem to the world's problems, like conservatism and you can say the manga right wing movement here in America is, or Nazism as it's always been. But I repeat myself. So, and I also want to talk about, you know, most of Captain America's rogues gallery are Nazis, which are right wing, totalitarian, ultra nationalists who predicate themselves on eugenicism and creating a mythical past where the white race was once great. So when we talk about, you know, the rogues gallery of especially Captain America, you would notice that it's a lot of Nazis. Like let's see, Red Skull is a Nazi. Arnim Zola is a Nazi. Baron von Strucker, hold up, maybe he's not a Nazi, he's just somebody I disagree with, so maybe Baron von Strucker is not a Nazi. Let me see. Is this person a Nazi? Maybe he isn't. Go figure that. So you get the idea that when it comes to writing Captain America and what he stood for and stuff, this is why I have respect so much for this character, is what America could possibly be in the true ideals of America, of freedom, individuality, hope, and responsibility. In humbleness and kindness, even though you're one of the strongest people on earth. He was a guy, you know, I can even relate to the original white Captain America story, who grew up, you know, he was always had a big heart and wanted to do what was right, but faced a lot of bullying and adversity because of his small size. But once he got the power to do the right things and stuff, to take care of others and to take charge against authoritarianism, hatred, and bullying, he took the chance and he ran with it. So with that all said, let's get into this possibly a ignoramus ass disaster of a video, I can guarantee you, about this guy trying to tell us about how somehow Captain America, it's been 3 months, you had enough time to see it, is so-called a brave new disaster. I'm curious if this is going to be anything except him saying that he's black over and over and over again.
Falcon's wings made from Black Panther's vibranium to fight a not so incredible Red Hulk. And so for the purposes of this review, I'm going to refer to him as Captain Black Ant Falcon Man from now on.
What is this joke? And I can guarantee you he's going to repeat this the rest of the video, because honestly, like, Avengers, or superheroes, especially ones that are in a steed of the others that preceded him, because keep in mind, he did not take the super surge or serum. Sam didn't take it, so he has to find other ways to compensate for that lack of ability. He's a good fighter in his own right, but sometimes he might wind up against an amount of enemies where a normal human using Captain America's shield can't overcome. So he uses vibranium, and he uses the wings. So like, this is if you excuse the expression, YouTube, dumb as hell already before we get started even watching the rest of the video. And second of all, this guy sounds like he has an accent. I don't know if he's British or Irish or something like that. Hopefully not German, if you know what I mean. But it's like, you're not American, and you're commenting on a hero that represents what it means to be America. I kind of find that to be weird. But I digress.
Partly because there's only ever going to be one Captain America for me, and that's Steve Rogers, but mostly...
And the irony is that Captain America would hate you and your politics.
Because I can't think of a more fitting metaphor for what this movie is. A jumbled mishmash of different ideas and storylines ripped off from other, better Marvel characters and films. A movie that's clearly been hacked.
The only people that can say that are people that did not see this movie.
To pieces and reassembled more times than Frankenstein's monster, complete with all the boring played out tropes you'd expect from an MCU that's been drifting rudderless for the past 5 years, a bunch of characters and subplots that go absolutely nowhere, and that doesn't seem to know what it is, and more importantly, why it even exists. And having spent 2 hours slogging my way through it, I can't really tell you either. In short, Captain Black Ant Falcon Man Brave New World is everything we feared it would be. A bloated, overblown, inconsistent mess. Anyway, I don't want to have to waste any more time.
Again, this is this is two things, and I'm gonna skip forward in this video because this is fucking boring. This is either one of the two things. Either you're just so biased, if you know that you can't see the goodness in this movie. That's A, or B, you're stupid and you don't understand how to follow a plot for the movie. Spoiler alert ahead, because the only way that these clowns can make a movie look bad, they have to spoil the entire plot to it.
Time talking about this than I have to, so without further ado,
let's get this over quickly.
The movie centres around the fight for control of the Celestial that exploded out of the Indian Ocean in the Eternals. I mean, it's only taken them like 5 years to address this gigantic plot hole, but whatever. Better late than never, I guess. Anyway, because
keep in mind the MCU started in 2003, and we didn't get an Avengers movie till 2012. Clearly, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is all about padding out plot points to garner, how can I say, to garner connection to other series and franchises and stuff. Like the way that Captain America, the first Avenger, really connected with Thor in the story of the Asgardians, what have you, with the Tesseract. This is not new for the MCU to leave a plot thread hanging and then address it, a few movies later.
The Celestial's body contains enormous reserves of adamantium, a mineral which is even more invincible than vibranium. Oh, does someone not have a monopoly on the world's most valuable resource now? Pass me the world's smallest fucking violin. There's now a bit of
So what, are you really upset that, and keep in mind that Black Panther and Wakanda was created to criticize white supremacy and colonialism, to beg the question of what if an African nation did not deal with colonialism on the levels that caused all the suffering that's happened in Africa over the past couple decades. So that's number one. Two, why did you bring this up from a different movie? This does not matter in this movie. You brought this up out of nowhere because you have to find another way to try to dunk on black folks. That's all that was.
a gold rush to claim ownership of it, spearheaded by General Ross, who's now been promoted to President of the United States. His goal is to sign an agreement with Japan to share access to the Celestial, and the two countries are close to making a deal. Unfortunately, it all goes tits up during a White House dinner when Isaiah Bradley gets an attack of the Galloping Crazies and tries to assassinate him, only to forget the whole thing after he's captured. Captain Black Ant Falcon Man believes that he was mind-controlled into attacking Ross, and he's determined to clear his name, so he begins his own investigation that soon leads him to a classified black site where he conveniently runs into Giant Brain Man, a test subject exposed to gamma radiation that caused him to get super smart, which Ross then exploited for his own personal gain. Oh yeah, and this small child shows up for like 5 minutes to give us the obligatory girl boss moment, and then basically does nothing for the rest of the movie. You've often heard me joke.
Keep in mind, it's a science fiction superhero movie. You see, when other people ain't gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. Men who complain about women getting the better of men in action movies are, if you pardon the expression, are men that want to beat women. That's all that I get out of this shit. Because at the end of the day, bro, don't get me wrong, because it's two sides to this, right? This fat, worthless pile of shit, I'm sure, cannot beat a woman that's a like army officer or that trained in mixed martial arts. She would choke this guy the fuck out. So that's one half of it. She would choke me the fuck out. It's women that can whoop the average man's ass. That is a thing. These have to be exception to women, but it does exist. That's number one. So, your fat, lazy, gamer incel ass is not beating up like a woman who is a soldier or a martial artist, or one that's both often at the time that they are. So that's first of all on this. Number two, and it's like, dude, y'all people are the main motherfuckers that say just watch a movie and let it be a movie or something like that. But y'all focus on the most ignorant slop side shit that does not fucking matter. If a woman is has superpowers, like she's been through the Widow program or whatever, or if she's like Captain Marvel, where she's infused with the Kree energy and stuff, the cosmic power, and she's beating up men in the movie, it doesn't matter, bro. Go along with the movie and have fun. Let women get a win sometimes. Why is it that every single time women or any other minority does something that that bucks the system or bucks the norm, you got to bring the shit up like it matters so much to you? It only matters to you because you go, and this is why motherfuckers like y'all, bro, and I hate to be going on a spiel on this whack ass video, but like y'all, this is why y'all don't get women, is because women don't want to be around nobody who's constantly talking about how inferior and weak women are, because that always comes off to anybody with a brain like you want to beat women.
About petite actresses beating the shit out of guys twice their size, but in this case, it's literally true. If she's more than 5 feet tall and weighs more than 90 pounds, I would be fucking shocked. But don't worry, I'll talk more about her later. Believe that! Anyway, Giant Brain Man engineered the whole thing to provoke a war between America and Japan, and with the two opposing
his name is the Leader. The Leader is a legacy villain to the Avengers, to the Hulk especially, and to in like many Marvel universes, comic book and cartoons. See, if you're a real comic book fan, you would know that the Leader is a regular reoccurring villain. He's not new, he's not made up, he's not random, and this is how the Leader fights. The Leader fights, he uses other people to fight his battles. The Leader uses other people to, to do his bidding. He outsmarts everyone, and it's been times where he's done outsmarted even Bruce Banner and Tony Stark. So this bullshit where, you know, this is all about, it was an entire arc about it in Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes. But, you know, that's a side point right there. But the point being is that this guy is not a real comic book fan. Because if he was a real comic book fan, he would know who the fuck the leader is. And don't get me wrong, they could have designed him differently, but at the end of the day, the leader is the leader. He's a classic comic book villain.
Battle fleets closing in on the Celestial, Captain Black Ant Falcon Man races to the scene to...
How many times can a person tell the same joke over and over again? Do y'all ever get bored of these motherfuckers, bro? Like, on some real shit. Because at least as a leftist, bro, you can tell throughout this entire video, however long it is, probably up to 10 minutes by now, I've made several different anti-right-wing jokes, right? But he has made the same joke 5 or 6 times, bro. Come up with a new joke. Come up with a new punchline. Like, it's not funny. It's no truth to it. And it just sounds like you're ignorant. And it sounds like to me, you're just trying to say that the black man is co-opting and taking things away from the white heroes. That's what it comes off as. But you would never say it out loud because you are a, I can't say that. It goes against community guidelines.
To stop them. Jesus, as if Japan would even think about challenging the US military for control of anything. So Captain Black Ant Falcon Man is able to defuse the situation by strategically kicking missiles out of the air, and then everyone goes home and Ross gives a speech to celebrate, but then it turns out that the heart attack pills he's been taking the whole movie are actually gamma radiation pills, which Giant Brain Man uses to turn him into Red Hulk.
Yeah.
Right.
And yes, I'm being absolutely serious with this. Then there's a bit of a
Keep
fight.
in mind, Captain America Civil War had them it was the Winter Soldier I'm thinking of. Well, but this whole but it's like this. This is all fantasy, science fiction, superhero shit. So it's all ridiculous. That's number one. But in Captain America's his debut movie, the first Avenger, was the only one that could have conceivably been real in any way, shape, or form, all up until the Tesseract shit. But if we want to talk about his later movies, something like Civil War, with a fucking man in an iron flying suit, we can talk about the fact that they were building 4 helicarriers that were supposed to, not 4 helicarriers, I believe it was a fleet of them, that were to circle the world and erase potential threats of people in creating a fascist police state worldwide. So what the is you talking about, kiddo? I don't understand that. Like, they do this with every movie that involves a woman or a minority, where if the fantasy of the plot is dug into more than is necessary to as an attempt to make the following movie sound ridiculous. But this whole premise, even the ones of the white superheroes, is ridiculous.
Which destroys the White House, and Captain Black Ant Falcon Man asks him to stop being the Hulk because the writers couldn't think of any other way to get out of it. So he turns back into Harrison Ford, and then everyone goes home.
He fought him and calmed him down. This is another dumbass person that doesn't read comics. Everybody knows, bro. Everybody knows you cannot, unless you're like Thanos or something like that, or maybe Thor on his best day even, you cannot beat the Hulk up and make the Hulk stop. In fact, the Hulk was created as a criticism of the military-industrial complex and how growing and making more and more weapons and bombs and stuff feeds the machine of aggression and anger, and it never stops. It just makes the machine stronger. You know, the military-industrial complex, that is. That was the point of the Hulk being written. But we aren't going to talk about that right now. What we'll get at also is that we've seen things like Black Widow singing to the Green Hulk. We've seen Black Widow grabbing his hand and calming him down. We've seen throughout other media and what have you that the Hulk, never really surrendered or was beaten down and knocked out by anybody except like Thanos or something. And the only way that they ever beat the Hulk in anything that I ever seen, animated or in comics, was by calming him down. This is ridiculous, man.
And that's it. That's the plot for Captain Black Ant Falcon Man Brave New Worlds. You know, when I think about
those
the torch...
memes do a lot of heavy lifting throughout y'all throughout y'all videos to you gotta let me know when I gotta laugh like it's a fucking what do you call that was on like Seinfeld and Williams Rose, like I gotta get the ha 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 the fucking applause sign or something, bro. Grow up.
Arduous production process this movie had, all the rewrites and reshoots that it went through, it's actually hard to imagine what Brave New World even started out as. I mean,
this it's confirmed by like Anthony Mackie and I believe the director that the reshoots were normal reshoots to make sure that it was like consistency in the movie and stuff like that. It was normal reshoots. So like I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like I honestly just I don't know, because the movie in my opinion, if I was to do a review of this separate from this nonsense, right? This movie is pretty consistent. You know, we started out talking about, how can I say, Captain America, trying to get the I forget because it's been a while since I've seen a movie, but he went on a mission in Mexico. After the mission in Mexico, they tried to unalive him. Sidewinder tried to unalive him and stuff like that. After that, let's see, man, it's been so long since I seen the movie, but best believe that the whole thing from Captain America, the mission in Mexico, all the way to General Ross becoming a Hulk, it was consistency throughout the movie. And there was even a mystery throughout the movie. It was discovery of subplots and things people didn't know throughout this entire film. So the only way I feel like that anybody can get a grasp of how well written, and I feel like a lot of people were calling this a comeback, just like they were the Thunderbolts for the MCU in writing and what have you, versus the Thunderbolts or the Marvels and what have you, is because it was sort of a comeback. It's very consistent writing. And be glad I don't remember, because I don't want to spoil the whole movie anyway, but the point being is that this is a good movie. You should go see it. I'm probably going to check out like up to 6 minutes of what this dumbass has to say, and then I'm done.
I mean, the overall tone is vaguely in line with Winter Soldier. There was clearly an attempt to ground it in something resembling reality, with all the government conspiracies, classified projects, Black Ops missions, and the looming threat of global war. The problem is, it also has to work in ridiculous bullshit like the continent-sized Celestial sticking out of the ocean and the Red Hulk.
Keep in mind that The Avengers is one of the most highest grossing movies of all time, and this is a movie that was like literally about a Norse thunder god, and technically, if you want to be honest, two super soldiers, a man who makes suits, and a man with a bow and arrow fighting an alien invasion. So, like, I don't understand why I do this shit again, but it's because he doesn't want to talk about the actual reason he hates this movie. It's because it's about a black person.
And those elements go together about as well as intersectional feminism and reason, logic, and personal accountability. You can't take...
Keep in mind, bro, and I'm going to end the video right there because this is ridiculous. So, we're going to talk about personal responsibility, right? Keep in mind, this is the same party of people that cannot stop goose-stepping and blaming problems on other people. If it's not immigrants' problem, it's women's problem. If it's not women's problems, it's black people's problem. If it's not black people's problem fault, it's Hispanic people's fault. I mean fault, not problem. But you get the point of what I'm saying. And it's constantly, every single time the so-called white race fails at something, or one of these motherfuckers can't get a job, they can't get laid, they can't start a family, they can't find a good job, it's always somebody else's fault. But you want to talk to everybody else about personal responsibility. I'm finished.